has done. Thank you so much for being part of this program. I want to appreciate Pastor Chris Abikis for his support and for encouraging me in this line of broadcast. I say, may God bless you and bless Kingdom Radio in the mighty name of Jesus. Yes, this evening we shall be looking at a topic, be a more appealing personality. Be a more appealing personality. Okay. As usual, I'd like to go through my introduction, so you can actually have a true picture of what we are talking about tonight. Okay. Be a more appealing personality. Some people never get tired until they mess up the life of others. They have a disdain for things going right and do everything they can to mess up the harmony around the lives of others. Okay. Sorry about that. They have a disdain for things going right and do everything they can to mess up the harmony around the lives of others. You don't need such people in your life. You don't need such people in your life. Okay. Things you should avoid doing. Okay. So talking about the introduction, there are people that you don't need around your life. There are people that maybe their being around you can actually draw you back, slow you down, or stagnate your progress. So there are people that they really do not really like what is going on around you. It is good, but to them, they feel like, why has God chosen you to be the one whom he will bless? Sorry about that. Whom he will bless. So they do everything within their power to make sure that maybe what you're expecting does not get to you, or you struggle more than necessary, or you struggle for it. So we're talking about these individuals, and this topic is actually for such people. Maybe you are watching and you can't really explain it, why you act the way you do. You can't really tell why things are the way they are. You see people, a friend tells you, oh, I just got promotion. And instead of you to like, wow, congratulations, you are like, really? Thank God. At last, they just give you. I don't say they dash you, as in, I know that you didn't really worth it. You were just, it was freely given. Such statements, maybe sometimes you even regret saying it, but you said it. So that is what we're talking about tonight. It is something you need to really watch out for and then pray against. You need to silence that lying tongue. That is a spirit on its own that may want to make people to run away from you. And so the topic is two-way. We're talking about if you are feeling that way, you know this thing is right, but you find it difficult doing it. You know this person deserve accolades, deserve commendations, and you feel like, why should I say thank you, or why should I say bravo, or why should I even appreciate what the person is doing? That is what we're talking about tonight. Yeah. Okay. So, and the other way is if you are at the receiving end. Maybe you have someone, there's nothing you would do. This person will be like, maybe you didn't do well, or will not even appreciate at all. And this is someone that you see more often, or maybe your colleague at work, maybe your spouse. It can be very, very painful if you have done something and maybe people outside appreciate that thing. And this fellow is always talking you down, saying you've not done enough, you are not doing well. He's not even saying anything, does not want to say anything because he or she knows that you are doing the right thing and is not ready to acknowledge it. So when we say be a more appealing person, either you are the one or you have such a person around you of which you need to really watch out and try to see where you can strike a balance, either to stay away or draw back or not expecting accolades from such an individual. Okay, so things you should avoid doing or things that can make you a less appealing person. There are things that make individual more a less appealing, that people do not really want to stay around you, or they are not even expecting you to say the right thing anyway, because they know you. So what do you need to do? What is that thing that you need to put in place, so much so that over time people see that change in you? People see that change in you, and they're like, oh, this person has really changed, this person has really grown. Because sometimes it has to do with maturity, and then if not well guided, you may feel that it is the way you are wired. God did not wire anybody to be ungrateful or not to appreciate the good in others. Okay. Number one, being easily triggered. The things that you do, we're talking about the things that you can do or you are doing or that you do that make you a less appealing person. Okay. Being easily triggered. Mature people will never tolerate acts of superiority or someone getting angry at them for trivial matters. The world does not revolve around the needs of a single person, so you should not expect the people around you to beg and apologize anytime you feel a little triggered by something insignificant. Acting in such a way will lead to nothing but alienation on the side of your friends. Matured people cannot just tolerate those who just flare up at a little thing. Maybe something happens, something that can be handled, and something that is not really serious. Little things you flare up, little things you get angry. People around you who truly love you may confront you and tell you, no, I don't like that. What was that? I was joking. I was only joking. Or maybe I'm the one that puts it there, and you, instead of you to say, oh, who dropped this here, and you take it away, you're like, you started ranting, shouting, why would you leave it there? Why do you drop it there? Is that your table? Does it belong to you? Why would you do? You started shouting. You just make a scene out of nothing. Mature minds wouldn't want to stay around you. Matured minds, because one, because they are matured, they wouldn't want to trade words with you or get angry at the same time you are angry. They will want to keep their calm, relax, look at it from the other angle, or and think, oh, or did I do something wrong? Or was there any issue before now? So while you are ranting, while you are at it and displaying, they are there thinking far, thinking deep, taking it personal, trying to see, put themselves in your shoes and see if they would have reacted the way you are doing right now. Okay, so being easily triggered is one habit as a child of God you should run away from. You shouldn't be. You should grow up. Imagine if you have a child who is 2 years and this particular child cannot crawl. I am sure you will not be happy if you have a 2-year-old. Same thing applies to every child of God. God expects us to grow. So when you grow, there are things that will not get to you, because one, you not that you're expecting it, or maybe you're expecting that person to offend you, but because you are matured, there are things that will not really get to you, as in you now take every energy, exert your energy, and start displaying your anger. No. Okay, ignoring people when you feel like. That's another number two. There are things that make you a less appealing person. Okay, the topic is be a more appealing personality. So what are the things that you need to run away from in order for you to be a more appealing person? So we're dealing with the things that can make you a less appealing person, and we can make people run away from you. Okay, ignoring people when you feel like it. Maybe you won't be taking a keen interest in everything a person says, but it is mean and disrespectful to pretend they don't exist. What does that mean? You may not, you don't have to accept every statement. You You don't have to, you can listen, but you don't have to accept and go ahead and act on everything you hear. Imagine somebody talking to you and you pretend as though that person does not exist. It can be very, very demeaning. It's very, very disgraceful. It's very, very painful. Okay? Try to hear people out and give them your attention. So when someone is talking to you, that person needs your attention at that particular time. It will show that you are mature. They will appreciate you much more when you are not being absent-minded. Like somebody is talking to you, and after the person has spoken left, right, center, the person is not like, okay, hope you are getting the true picture now. And you're like, what was that? Oh, sorry. What? You were actually saying something. Were you talking to me? Oh my God. You put yourself in that person's shoe. You have been talking. You have been trying to explain something, try to paint a picture. Maybe it has to do with a project you are working on. And this person, after saying everything, in your mind, you are communicating because the person is actually there with you, only to ask you, what was that? What were you saying? Oh, are you actually talking to me? I'm sure you won't be happy. So the same way you will not be happy is the same way another person will not be happy if you do it to them. So don't pretend. Do not pretend. Yeah, don't be absent-minded. But if you are busy, you can say, oh, can we talk about this some other time? Not that you ignore, or you see someone passing and you know that the person is actually coming to you. The person would have loved to greet you or say hi, and you just put your face away so that the person will not greet, or so you don't greet. Don't do that. So for you to be more appealing person, you need to really relate with people in a way and manner you would want them to do to you. Okay. Then number next, starting fights. Starting fights. Starting fights. I know you say, but this is a Christian program. The Christian fight. There are things we do that can actually portrays the fact that you are not really calm in this regard. Okay, so starting arguments and causing a fight between two people is something you should always avoid. You may not go on physical punching, doing this and doing that, but if you are the type that try to say something which the other person have not said, and I'm trying to whisper it to this person and say, do you notice that? But the one that will tell this person, do you notice this man doesn't greet you? Do you know this person doesn't really respect you? They're trying to make people to see the wrong in others without them discovering it themselves. You try to paint people black in the sight of others. You are actually starting fights. Maybe you have friends, maybe you are in a group, maybe you are in a fellowship, and you are the type that will always say, don't you notice there's something you will post on that platform that this other person will comment. You are starting fight because the person may not even notice of that aspect. And now you are now painting the picture, making it look as though this person is deliberate in that action, which actually is not something good, of which you can walk up to that person and try to know why, but you wouldn't do that. You decide to talk to different people just to paint a picture that is not really good about this other person. And so people associating you with drama will definitely drive them away. You know, you should never act as a mediator unless you are being asked to do it. Unless you are being asked to do so, don't act as mediator. You are the one that will go to Mr. A. You get what that person wants to say, and you come to Mr. B. The one that Mr. A did not say, you say it. And maybe when Mr. A had what Mr. B said in response, because actually Mr. A didn't say anything nasty, But because of the way you painted that picture, before you the way you table it, trying to make Mr. A a bad person in the sight of Mr. B maybe he just answered absent-mindedly, like, I don't care, whatever. You go back to Mr. A and we're like, I told you, that man, the day he will beat you in this office, you will be shocked because he's just piling your offense like this. And meanwhile, that is not the case. You are starting fights, my sister. You are starting fights, my brother. You are not doing any good. Okay? People are capable of resolving their issues by themselves. In case you don't know, people are capable of resolving their issues on their own. If you can actually manage crisis around you, if somebody come to report somebody to you, and you can stand your ground and say, really? But have you thought about it? Have you spoken with her? Have you discussed it with her? Even when the person say, hey, I tried to, but he's not listening, say, you still need to take time. Maybe she was angry. Don't try to be a mediator before they use your head to settle the fights, okay? Getting in between may be counterproductive and even make things worse, with people blaming you for everything in the end. Because for you to judge rightly, you must hear from A, you must hear from B at the same time in their presence, not behind. So you can imagine if this person is not coming up, this person is not coming up, this person is coming behind to see you, definitely you're not hearing the truth. You cannot hear the truth like that. So you don't be a mediator. Don't even try to. Don't try to, except you are a judge in the court of law. Don't be a mediator. Try to maintain your lane, because at the end of the day, if these two people really love themselves and they still want to move on with that relationship as friends or as colleagues or as church members, they just want to bury the hatchet and just be okay. You will not turn to be the bad person. You will turn to be the bad person. That will not make you a more appealing person. Okay, then number next, being too competitive. Being too competitive. It is never enjoyable being around an overly competitive person who always wants to leave others in the dust and win everything. Hi. You know, some people are just like, they don't just like it. They want to be the champion. Whether they are living in a residential area, whether in their office, they do not want anybody to be ahead of them. They just want to be there. They're so competitive. If they see something new on their friend in the office, even when their salary cannot afford that thing, they will go and borrow. We have some sisters, some brothers like that. Because your neighbor is driving a new ride now, and you know you cannot afford it, yet you took a loan. Is that not stupidity? It is, you are competing. You are competing. Relax. So what if you are not always the What if you are not always the winner? Most often than not, everything we do is like a play. It's like as if we are playing out what has been recorded in most of the time. So what if you don't win? Does it mean you will commit suicide? Does it mean you will hate the winner for life? Does it mean you start talking bad-mouthing the person because you are not the winner? No, that does not make you a better person. That will not make you a winner in the end, because you cannot attract what you do not appreciate. What you do not appreciate, you cannot attract it. It should be about having a good time with your loved ones. Life is not always a competition. Too much competition, competitiveness will either make you the butt of the joke, or people will just start avoiding you altogether. When they know that you can go any lengths just to get that thing because your neighbor has it, then people will start like, this one is not normal. This one is not normal. When things happen, maybe in your office, in church, maybe they just ordain new ministers, and because you are not part of them, you start having attitude. You cannot congratulate the new ministers. That means you have a mindset like, you deserve this. It should have been you. That mindset is not for a child of God, and it is not of God. So you shouldn't have it. So if you're having that habit as I speak, there's something wrong with you, with your mentality, with the way you reason, with the way you act, and you need God to help you. So you can have this spirit of love that radiates and that covers sins and that forgive easily and even forgive ahead. Okay. Number next, rudeness. Rudeness. This applies to all the people in your life. Being impolite or straight out rude with restaurant waiters or never saying hello to your neighbor is a bad idea. You have people around you. You are not in the jungle. You have people that are around you. You don't know how to say hi. You don't know how to say, oh, I've not seen you for a while. How are you doing? You work in a compound. You live in a compound where you have other tenants, you have other neighbors, and you don't care. You have people on your streets. You don't bother. It's not just right. And being impolite, like when you want to talk, maybe maybe you want to see someone, somebody wants to see you, and like, so come here. What was that? That is not good enough as a child of God. If you call yourself a child of God, there are things that should not be found around you, and there are things that you should have buried. Buried. You know, when we do baptism, you are put into the water with your head inside. That is buried with Christ. So when you are coming up, that thing shouldn't have come up with you. Nobody is expecting you to act in a way and manner that is questionable to your faith. Okay? Being grateful and saying sorry are not signs of weakness. Okay? It shows appreciation and kindness for the people who work hard and have troubled life just like you once did or still do. People around you, they are not saints. You don't expect everybody around you to be perfect. You are not Mr. Perfect either. You are not Mrs. Perfect. You are not Miss Perfect. So you don't expect everybody around you to be perfect in everything they do and the way and manner they relate with you. So you show appreciation, you show kindness to people. Being grateful and saying sorry does not mean you are weak or you cannot fight or that you don't know your rights. It shows maturity in Christ. You need to say sorry, not just because you are right, another person is wrong. No, you don't do that. So, okay. And the last one, being too interruptive. This will be our last one for today. Being too interruptive. Surely you don't like it when people interrupt you in the middle of a sentence. You are saying something, and somebody saying, wait. So try to put yourself in other people's shoes and avoid starting your own story when the person across you still hasn't finished with theirs. Somebody is telling you something, somebody is trying to tell you something and try to explain it to you, and you're like, hey, that reminds me. And somebody is even talking about maybe church, and then you say, hold on, hey, wait, that party about the wedding, have they finished that party? Or I think they said they're going to organize something end of the year, this thing. You can imagine, you just cut off that person. You are literally saying that it's okay, keep short, otito. So you don't do that. You don't do that. So it's even worse if you start talking about something unrelated. Like I said, something unrelated to the topic at hand. Interrupting a person who is trying to find understanding about an issue going on in their life by starting to talk about how hungry you are or about the funny thing that happened to you is a big no. Somebody is trying to express a feeling or is feeling what is going on in our life. Maybe the person is trying to tell you what is going on in our marriage or his marriage, trying to see if you can help, trying to gain wisdom. And there you are. You're just making joke of everything, or you're just talking about something different entirely. See, I'm hungry. I need to do this one. You are not helping matters. And it is saying no. You are not acting as a more appealing person. You are doing the other way around. Okay, so being a better person, kinder, more understanding, and the more approachable person is not just about the big things, it's about the small things too. So being a kind person, trying to be better, trying to be, the more you live, the more you should get better. You may not do it right yesterday, but you have another opportunity today. Maybe you were angry, maybe something happened to you, and when the person came, you are not in your right mind, and you are like, please, can we talk about this some other time? Fine, then find that another time. Find a way to make sure that you ask the person, how is it going? Sorry about the other day. Can we talk? Where can I see you? And then if the person say, okay, I will come, and the person say, okay, don't bother, I was able to sort it out. Fine. But don't pretend as if nothing happened, or as though the person didn't even come to you. That is so demeaning, so disrespectful. It is not good. It is a big no. So I want to encourage someone today that be a more appealing person. Like everything iterated this evening, if you just turn it the other way, you have listening here, you are kind, you are appreciative, you appreciate people, you celebrate little efforts in the lives of others, then you'll be more appealing to people. People want to hang around you. People want to come close to you. They know you have soft words, you speak softly, you are kind, you are calm, you will listen. Even if you don't solution at hand, you will give them that words of encouragement, you give them the succor they need part time, and then they can continue their lives believing God that every word you have spoken, that God will make it come to pass. I just pray that this broadcast will bless someone this evening. And I also pray that as you share this broadcast, may the Lord bless and keep you, and cause his face to shine upon you to the glory of his name, in the mighty name of Jesus. Till I come your way again, it's 6 p.m. on Kingdom Radio every Thursday. I remain Oluwaseyi Senuga, Seyi Virtuous. God bless you. Amen.
We bow before you, to you alone. We worship you. You are the covenant keeping God. We bow before you, to you alone. We worship you. You are the covenant keeping God. Keeping God. We bow before you, to you alone. We worship you. You are the covenant keeping God. In times of trouble, I call his name, and the Lord gave me his word, like in the days of old. His goodness and mercies follows me. We bow before you. We bow before you. To you alone. To you alone. We worship you. We worship you. You are the covenant keeping.